Let's take you out to Petco Park, and sitting there comfortably with Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn is Bob Carpenter. Bob?
Thank you, Johnny. And Tony and I have had a chance to work together in the past, and he didn't sound too eager to face Strasburg from a conversation we had a couple of minutes ago. Tony, of course, had over 3,100 hits in his career. Tony, from your coach's perspective at the college level, tell us something about Stephen that maybe we don't know.
I think the biggest thing is he's athletic. Not only does he have power stuff, but he feels his position. He has what I call baseball savvy. He can hold runners. He can do all that stuff. I think he can swing the bat a little bit too. So don't be surprised when he eventually gets here that he can do all those other things too.
Tony, in some of the time we've spent with Stephen off the field down at spring training, he seems like he's not awed by all of this. He's certainly not too cocky for any of us, but he seems to be in control of the situation and mentally able to handle what's going on. Is that your assessment?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, a year ago at this time before the draft, I know a lot of people were concerned. Scott Boras was his agent, weren't sure what kind of guy Stephen Strasburg was, but I think you guys have gotten a chance to get to know him. You see, he's a humble guy. He totally gets this thing called Major League Baseball. He gets it, not only between the white lines, but your responsibility off the field too. So, obviously, a lot of people are like me. We're anxious to see what's going to happen when he gets on a major league mound, but the success he's had already is not surprising.
All right, Ray, let's get one hitter hooked up with another. Your question for Tony.
Tony, when he came to you, was he raw or was he fairly polished?
He was kind of raw. I think the thing he had to learn was how to be tough, how to be aggressive and go after hitters. And my pitching coach at the time, Rusty Filter, I thought did a wonderful job of getting him to be more aggressive as a pitcher. And then once he got his body in shape, and once he got the eye of a tiger, so to speak, as a pitcher, he's super aggressive. He can locate all three pitches, all three are plus, fastball, slider, change. Seeing the highlights of the AAA games, he's running a fastball in on right-handers. He's cutting the changeup away from right. I mean, he's one of those guys that is going to figure out how to get a hitter out. He sees how the hitter swings the bat too. So again, the success he's having so far, I'm not surprised. I think he's going to really do well.
Anything else, Ray?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ray.
Did he always throw effectively inside? Because in the games that I've watched, he's been able to throw that fastball right inside under those left-handed and right-handed hitters. Didn't matter which side of the plate, and he throws it in there with a commitment.
Yeah, he's not scared, and that's the thing. I think he's taken away from his time at San Diego State. He knew he had to be able to locate inside, and he is not going to be afraid to go in there. And to be successful, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to be able to pitch inside to get command of that ball inside, and that's the thing for a young guy that's really amazing is his command. He's able to put the ball where he needs to put it.
Tony, I've got one more question for you. Did you talk to Stephen about the professional life, what to expect? I mean, you played for one team for more than 20 years in the big leagues. So did you give him a clue what he might expect when he became a guy, playing for pay instead of in college? Yeah,
we talked about that. I don't think any of us could have imagined that the hype would be what it's turned out to be. But you tell him again that you're a baseball player, you're a major league player, but there's more responsibility than just playing. And like I said, he's not a guy that's going to run away from that. He's not going to shy away from it. He's going to stand up and he's going to sign the autographs. He's going to do the interviews. He's going to do the things that he has to do, and he's probably going to do it with a smile and an unassuming kind of attitude. And I think he's the type of guy that I think everybody's going to get to know and really like.
Well, if anybody could teach him that would be Tony Gwynn, who's just exactly like that. Johnny, a question for Tony.
Yeah, Tony, before we let you go, we know about the fastball. How about the curveball that Stephen has?
He really, and I haven't seen him, throw a full game here, since he left to go to spring training, but the three pitches I saw were fastball, slider, change. At the college level, he could pretty much go after guys with the fastball, get their bats started, throw the slider, and get outs. But his changeup is plus, and I think that's the pitch that's really going to separate him, because not only is it a plus pitch, but he can locate it. I think that's the thing that really separates him, and that's a pitch he learned, I think, from our pitching coach at San Diego State. But he's tweaked it now to where he's got that changeup moving. He's got it running in. He's got it sinking. He's got it moving away. And that's, again, Stephen Strasburg is one of those guys that tries to figure out ways to get hitters out. And he has that ability to do it while on the fly on the mound.
Well, Tony, on behalf of our organization, and I'm sure for many years to come, we thank you for the work you did with Stephen. And by the way, when the Padres come to Washington, I'm pretty sure we'll get you in to see the game.
No, I hope so. I'm going to do the series, so I'm going to be there. But
right.
Thank you.
One of the greatest ever guys, Tony Gwynn, thanks so much for your time. And now back to Johnny and Ray.